Sure what you'll think about that. Let me be introspective about that. I can't control myself. So I've been feeling the energy of Mercury retrograde for the past 2 days, which is not anything unusual for me because whatever's coming in energetically, I always feel prior to those 2 days. There are many interesting aspects to Mercury retrograde, which I'm not sure people know about. So that's what I want to talk about today. This video is going to be about the 9/9 portal and Mercury retrograde. And then I pulled a short, we'll see how short it is, tarot reading on what the energy of Mercury retrograde is bringing to us, because to go retrograde means to go backwards. Not that we ever want to go backwards, but Mercury retrograde is about us going backwards so that we can indeed move forward. So it's really important time. And I know what we have a tendency to see on social media is complaint about backfiring technology and missed travel plans and flight cancellations and all of that. But I'm not going to dwell on anything like that here. So this video is going to be about the 9/9 portal, which is tomorrow, Mercury retrograde, what that really means for you and for us as a whole, and the correlation of those two things. And then also, I'm like a monkey with a banana or something. It's ADD, I can't help it. And the last thing is how those two things are correlating together or working together right now. I have my water, so I shouldn't need to abandon mid-flight and run to the kitchen this time. I've been doing that a lot lately. So the first thing I want to say is hello and welcome to my channel. You guys give me amazing feedback, usually on another platform and not necessarily on this one, but I definitely encourage comments and questions. I love that. And I like to know what other people are experiencing. As I always mention, I have a pretty small circle, so it's interesting to see exactly what everyone's going through. And I do have several people that reach out to me, at least on a weekly basis, sometimes a daily basis, about the very interesting things that they are going through. So the first and most important thing to know is that we live in a holographic simulation. And so all of this debate recently, just in the last year, about whether these portals mean anything or whether it's just a bunch of new age garbage or stuff like that. Unless you believe that numerology and astrology have no part in the effects of your feelings or your emotions or your daily life, it would be pretty silly to say that anything numerical does not have an influence on our life, just like anything that happens on a planetary scale affects our lives. Hi guys, there's a couple of you here, so I'm going to get started. And God only knows that this will end up being another long video. So we live in a holographic simulation that is based on code, which is based on math. So for all those people disagreeing that any portal has no effect on them, I would say really think about that, because that means that dates and numbers and birth charts and astrology and all those amazing things have no effect on you. And I just, for myself, don't feel like that is actually the case here. So numbers absolutely carry energy. Now, whether you want to read, listen to, watch people's interpretations about other planets, other races, things that may be going on geopolitically, you can choose to do or not do that. However, I choose to share from the perspective of numerology because then you can look at all the other aspects individually as you're called to and see specifically how that number affects you. A lot of times I make videos from the macrocosmic view of the world stage, and sometimes I make videos about personal, and sometimes I make videos about how the macrocosm affects the microcosm and vice versa. That could be a really long video when talking about the numerology of the gateway of 99 if I was to break it down into individual sections. So what I'm going to do is talk about the energy that this specific number carries. Numbers do carry an incredible amount of energy with them. On a portal day, you are talking double the energy that you're already receiving. So every single day, every date, even the time of day has a code or a numerical effect within our own biological system of the human body. The number 9 is all about completion. So when you're looking at a 9-9 portal, you're having double the energy of completion that you would have on just a regular number 9 day. So what does that mean for you? 9s are the energy of completion. So in the essence of the energy of completion, in order for us to complete cycles or tasks or goals or whatever it is that we're doing, we first come from a perspective of the observer's viewpoint, or that's what number 9 asks us to do, is look at our life or anything in this world, right? Anything that we want to change, any direction that we want to take, we look at how numbers affect us. So 9 asks you to be the observer of your own reality and change the things that you need to change. This ties directly to the Hermit card in the tarot, which is shining the inner light on the self. So in our goal of completion, we shine the light within ourselves. We shine the light within ourselves to understand how we course correct, because the Hermit is about our internal growth, our internal progress, and our internal and eternal spiritual growth on planet Earth. So the reason to shine the light within for us is to understand how, why, when, and what course correction our life needs. We don't shine the light on ourselves to be introspective, to not accomplish anything. So the goal is shining the light within so we can make the course corrections needed in our life. Now, when you're talking about shining that light within, number 9 in the major arcana of the tarot, you're talking about every 9 that also influences. So the Hermit card is the father card to all other number 9s in the tarot. So the 9-9 portal is about self-introspection so that we may course correct. And the question is, what are we here to course correct? So that gets broken down, just like we have 4 directions and 4 elements. We have 4 areas of course correction in our life when we're being introspective about our new direction and what it is we wish to change. What did we come here to experience is what the Hermit wants you to ask yourself. What's missing from our lives? What is my personal truth that I need to speak? What within me needs to be expressed? What completes me? Because again, number 9 is completion. So you're looking at the 4 aspects of self that complete you. And it doesn't matter what order these are in. I just put them in the order that came to me. So shining the light on our 4 different aspects means that we're taking a look at anything that's incomplete, that's hanging in our field, that is a goal, a wish, or a dream. So number 9, breaking down to 4 parts. The first part would be, it's not even Friday night and already the racing cars begin. So the first thing we're shining the light in and on is the completion of our thoughts. So ending our own mental conflict and the anxiety that we feel within. So completing what's in our auric field, our body's toroidal field, when it comes to mental conflict and our internal anxiety. The second thing is the completion of personal balance. So that is our mental and our spiritual alignment with self. So that's asking us not to look solely at the spiritual world all the time and disregard 3D, but also not to look at what we're acquiring, manifesting, and producing as far as money or financial gains. So the second number 9 is the 9 that's asking us to balance our spiritual and our physical reality. The next completion, number 9, is our completion of the climb. It's where we're going in this ascension process. It's the climb up and around the mountain. It's the completion of the ascension process that we're gifted at the end of this 26,000 year cycle. So completion of our own personal climb. And when I talk about these things, you can look at the information or the aspects that I'm giving you and then turn around and look at the world stage and see how that also is applicable to the macrocosmic level here. So the completion of the climb and the ascension process is that there is one final step to something or one final push to something, okay, that's taking you into a new direction of passion in your life. And you decide, of course, for yourself what that actually is. And the last completion under the Hermit card is bringing our personal wishes to fulfillment. Feeling the excitement about the energy of completion coming into our lives. We can feel the energy of completion within the quantum field of unlimited potential before it hits us. So if you're feeling the energy of the wounded warrior, how much longer, how much further, all of those kind of things that the wounded warrior feels. And you guys, we've all had multiple lifetimes at the end of this cycle. I think we're pretty aware of that at this point. If not, surprise, you've had multiple lifetimes. So you're not just being asked to shine the light of completion on these 4 aspects of internal recalibration, of course correction, of looking at things from a higher vantage point. It's also about the things that are coming up at the end of the cycle that you've run into a multitude of times and haven't completed those things as well. Now, how you'll know if you've worked on things, a certain relationship dynamic or field of expertise or field of wisdom or study is that you will feel a stronger push, a stronger desire, a stronger will to manifest those kinds of things than just your normal relationship or your normal change of direction, right? So if everything in your life is tugging at you at a 2, something bleeding through from the past life that is asking you to course correct now will be bleeding through at an 11, just to give you an indication. Okay. So if you feel like you have multiple things to work on or multiple things to take care of, right? But one thing really stands out to you, that would be the completion that you're working on from the end, at the end of this cycle. And specifically, this is really looking at relationships right now. As much as I sometimes want to digress from the field of relationships, it's a conversation that comes up to me through my many dimensional aspects of self over and over again. And I'm always hesitant to look at the personal because that means I have to get personal. We all have to get personal, right? But how do we grow if we never get personal with ourselves or if we don't get personal with each other? Now, that's the reason that Mercury retrograde is an incredible gift for us. And I know we tend to look at the technological issues that we have. Speaking of, knock on wood, I haven't had any that I'm aware of in my first 16 minutes here. So these are the 4 important aspects of going into a new direction. The Hermetic energy is about course correction. Okay, he's not standing at the top of a mountain with a lantern because he's looking for mushrooms or a good place to put a tent. Okay, he's looking at what needs to be course corrected, and those things are broken down into the 4 aspects that I talked about. Now, how absolutely appropriate that Mercury retrograde also fits in here amazingly well, because I know people want to sometimes brush things off and not give full credence to solar activity or planetary retrogrades or aspects in our chart. But these are very, very much influences on us. And it doesn't say to you, Tina, this specific thing has to happen, but it says, Tina, here's the energy of this. So if you know what the energy is of the numbers and you know what the significance of that planet going retrograde is, things make a lot more sense to you. I am never an advocate for running your life by numerology or astrology or anything else. But it certainly is a wonderful and amazing and very, in my opinion, fascinating tool on how to work with things. So the first thing about Mercury retrograde, which I find fascinating, is the fact that it brings and stirs and motivates passion and creativity. So when we're stirred in passion and creativity, what do we want to do? We want to reach out and communicate with people, yet our phone is very issues, tech issues, all of that stuff. So it's fascinating to me at a time of amazing introspection. As an artist, as a creator, you're going to want to make more videos, write more articles, write more songs, and then share those things through technology, which often the biggest side effect of Mercury retrograde is having an issue posting the very thing that's coming from the depths of your soul. I just find that fascinating. So the most important thing about Mercury retrograde is this. It is an extremely magnified inflow of our perception. So Mercury retrograde at its core essence is an inflow of perception for us. Psychic ability, intuition, all of that. Inflow of perception is what Mercury retrograde is about. But that inflow of perception is so strong during Mercury retrograde that what it does is causes the outflow through speech So the inflow through perception of psychic ability and intuition causes the overwhelm of an outpour or outreach to come through your physical vessel and to the other people. Mercury retrograde is about being introspective. Mercury retrograde starts tomorrow on 9/9 of the portal, which is about introspection. So now you can see that we have a quadrupled energy of completion, of course correction, and of going backwards. So Mercury retrograde is about being introspective. We go backwards mirroring the planet through our thoughts and through our feelings. When we look at our thoughts and our feelings, our natural tendency is to want to connect to people from our past. So this doesn't mean we want to connect willy-nilly with every person that we've ever known, unless you are an exception to this rule and extremely, extremely social. So as the planet of Mercury goes backwards, our thoughts, feelings, and emotions go backwards into things from our past, specifically people from our past. Anything that we feel we have not previously vocally expressed will be pushed to the surface during Mercury retrograde. This is not in regards to all aspects of life, but specifically things left unsaid with people on our wavelength. So when there's a very strong connection and there are things left unsaid, or maybe current things or future things that you see that you realize in this mode of introspection, you're going to want to share it with that person that's on the same soul wavelength as you. Specifically, I'll say again, things left unsaid with people on our same wavelength. So there's a really strong urge to express our understanding of what feels unfinished within us, and also to have that person really and truly understand our perspective and our words. So it's not only the desire or the urge to speak the depths of our soul to someone on our same wavelength, it's also wanting them really and truly to understand where we're coming from, maybe why we did what we did, why we left things unsaid, what we realized later when we were in our quiet introspection time. So Mercury retrograde is a time when all of these things left unsaid come up to the surface to be expressed. And this is really, really healthy for us to go through this process. It's healthy for us to express this within ourselves, whether it's painting or writing or the process of video making, whatever the creative process of expression from your soul and things that are not previously expressed. So backwards into our thoughts and feelings push us to move forward. Backwards in our thoughts and feelings push us forward in our new direction. That is absolutely fascinating to me. And maybe I'm just a little bit of a simple person here. But it's a double whammy. So while Mercury retrograde is bringing us an influx of amped up intuition and psychic ability, also things left unsaid or sudden or later realizations being pushed to the surface that really want to come out for you, for everyone. And again, I'm looking at this solely on a personal level right now because that is my choice, because it's all about introspection. So 9 is double introspection. So sorry, I cannot even believe my phone was on. And of course, I spoke too soon about Mercury retrograde not affecting my electronics because I was not able to call off. You gotta love it. Okay, so what I think I was saying is there's a real urge to express ourselves. And again, it's very healthy to express ourselves. So we have 9-9 portal, which is completion, 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 completion. We have Mercury retrograde, which starts on 9-9, and I'm sure you're feeling it already like me. It starts on 9-9, and Mercury retrograde goes through the 2nd of October. Now, you probably knew this was coming, but in the energy of looking at course correction, of looking at things left unsaid or undone, or maybe new energy coming in that you need to express from the depths of your soul, Mercury's pushing that, and the 9-9 portal is pushing that. That's a lot of energy. So do yourself a beautiful favor. Make sure you're drinking water, staying hydrated, and finding a way to channel or express what's coming from the depths of your soul. You know, the best option would be to the other person on the other side of that fence that is where those expressions belong, or who that belongs to. If not, find a way to channel it, because this is a double energy of completion and Mercury retrograde starting tomorrow, both at the same time. And if for some reason you don't feel like you can express that directly to the person, find a way to express yourself. Because this is a lot of energy to hold in, and that's never good on the human stress level. I am always curious with the portals what specific energy is coming in. I am also really curious with retrogrades what energy is coming in. So this Mercury retrograde that starts tomorrow is in the sign of Libra. So not only are you going back into your thoughts, feelings, emotions, and revelations at a soul level, you're doing that introspectively in regards to justice, balance, divine interpersonal connection. So that's the third amplification, right? So Mercury retrograde in Libra is asking you to justify anything that's out of balance, course correction, new direction, unmanifested dreams, whatever those things are for you. The way my personality is I like to go as deep on the energy dive as I possibly can. So as you probably already guessed, I also pulled tarot cards so I can more thoroughly look at what's going on. So with this, the basis of the situation within the energy of change, within the energy of course correction, within the energy of justification, balance, and divine intervention. What we're specifically looking at on the first wave of ascension is the way we judge things, what our judgment has been on things. So our main theme for everyone in the collective energy right now, and some of you feel that stronger than others, but our collective thing is a judgment. And judgment is, what have I put to rest? And you can see this theme just keeps repeating over and over. That's why I thought it was so important to share with you, even though I was just here yesterday. So the judgment is asking you, what have you buried, put to sleep, no longer entertain, a door that you have shut, a window of opportunity that you've blocked out? What is it that you need to pull back into your life? And that could be it's going to be different for everybody. But I will tell you, and I'm not really that surprised, that this ends up being a very emotional and very intuitive time of introspection, specifically about relationships and what needs to be justified in relationships. So what we're looking at is the judgment. There are things that you no longer have in your life that were very, very fulfilling, nurturing, and emotionally satisfying to you. And you may have closed the doors on those things. So the judgment here is asking you, what have you put to rest? What have you put to sleep? What have you shut the door on that really brings you happiness and joy? Also, it's asking you at the same time, because judgment looks at both sides of the coin, what do you have going on in your life that you need to let go of? So for our overall energy in the first wave of ascension, the judgment is specifically about, and normally I pull one card for the place of the general energy of where we are, but two cards fell out at the same time. And what each person is currently making the judgment on, what brings me happiness, what door do I need to open, what door do I need to close in my past? The specific thing that the judgment is about in this case is the Four of Cups, which is the universe gave us this beautiful gift. And now the time has passed and it's become a missed opportunity. So the universe, your higher self, the energy of spirit within the collective is asking you, what do you need to resurrect in your life? And what do you need to let go of? What is in your life, this beautiful gift from the universe that has become to you, to me, to all of us, a missed opportunity? Now, the energy pushing this to the surface is that there is a person out there that very much wants to connect with you during this Mercury retrograde time. It's already pushing that. It's already conducive to that. 6 ways to Sunday, as I've been talking about here. But there's a young, innocent energy that really has gone introspective, right? Has looked at all these 4 areas of introspection and now has something very important that they want to say to you. Something very important that this person has realized. And maybe you owe that person an apology. Maybe that person owes you apology. Maybe both people owe an equal, balanced Libra sort of apology here. But we're being asked and urged again to express ourselves directly through our voice. That is what Mercury retrograde is about. So there is a person here that wants to get themselves clear with you. They want you to understand why they did what they did, why they said what they said, why they closed the door on you maybe. Why it is now they feel they want to open the door on you. It's a small gesture in a small way to come in and say, I need you to be part of my life. I want you to be part of my life. When you're in my life, my cup runneth over. Not to be Shakespearean on you. What is pushing this to the surface, and I feel like I just keep repeating myself, is the high priestess. When we are in our high priestess energy, we know what's coming into our field. And perhaps even when someone is about to show up in your physical life, whether that's through your email, your telephone, or knocking at your front door, your intuition knows that person is on the way, okay? And Mercury retrograde, amping up your intuition and your psychic ability and that person's need to express themselves to you and your need to be understood by that person and expressed back to them in communion of understanding is amplified to a degree I know you're going to start feeling tonight or tomorrow. Now, specifically what this person is coming to communicate with you about is a past hang up, okay? So we have the hang up, we have the hangman, The Hangman is again about introspection, right? So the High Priestess says, I really want to have introspection with you. The Judgment is saying, I really want to have introspection within myself and with you. The Hangman is saying, hey, I'm really sitting here on the tightrope or hanging from the tree, right? The Hangman is a self-imposed hangman. He put himself in that position so he could be introspective. So this is the fourth card now of introspection to really drive that home to you. So you've put yourself in a place of introspection for a really long time. What does this mean to me? What did I come here to learn? What did I come here to express? What is in my soul that is begging and urging me to be expressed? Because for once, the Hangman is not hanging. He's cut himself loose here. So perhaps what this person wants to express to you is that I'm no longer hung up on whatever our issue of the past was. And so for everyone, the issue, the hang up of the past is going to be a different thing. But the Hangman energy, this is what's coming. Because I asked what is to come out of this energy of Mercury retrograde and the 9/9 introspection of the Hermit during this portal. And it is the person in introspection has flipped his introspection, decided he has spent enough time thinking about what it is that's pushing to the surface of his soul that wants to be expressed. So it's the end of introspection. It's the end of being in the position of, I'm a hung man. I'm hung up on you, or I'm hung up on something from the past, or I'm hung up on a situation. I have cleared myself. The light bulb moment has happened. I know what I need. I know what I want. I know what my direction is. Now I ask, what is it that you need? What is it, your direction that you want to express? What is it that your intuition is pushing to the surface here? And I get the card of communication. What I want with you is to speak to you from my soul. What I want from you is for you to understand me at a soul level. What I want for you is to listen to me as intently as I've always listened to you. What I want from you is to get back on track with you. What I want with you is to travel to you. What I want for you is to travel towards me. This is what this person is saying. I don't usually read like this, but it is what it is. I say, whatever comes is what comes out my mouth. I've oftentimes thought about changing this from the news that didn't make the news to let's see what comes out my mouth, because it's different every time. And I allow myself to be an open doorway and an open channel, not only for my own self-expression, which is always very intense during Mercury retrograde, but also for you. And so I will not confine myself to a box or like the hangman from a tree. I will express however it comes. So this person wants to communicate, wants to speak, wants you to listen very intently to what they have to say, which is specifically about traveling to you or having you travel to them, about getting back on track, and about how communication is really, really important to this person at a soul level. And this will amplify tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And I'm guessing it will go into the first and second week in October, because this is a really strong energy. Now, what this person wants to speak to you about and what this person wants you to have an open dialogue with them about is the new direction they've decided to take and the new direction that you have decided to take. So if you are the person that was in charge of making this decision, you've made it. If I'm the person, or you are the person that feels this decision that this other person is making, and you are very excited and very happy, because the Ace of Wands is about excitement, okay? It's about passion and direction and excitement and change and stepping out of your comfort zone and really throwing yourself out there in this mercurial energy and speaking what it is you want, because you're never going to get what you want if you don't open your mouth. And you can use Mercury retrograde as an excuse. So this person wants to express that there was a gift given to them in the past. Maybe they feel like you are something that fell from heaven, or you were a cosmic gift, or a gift from wherever, out of the blue. But that's what they want to express to you. Their new direction, the choice that they've made to start over with life, with passion, with direction. This is leading directly to a reconciliation. And a reconciliation means to reconcile, obviously, but it doesn't have to mean that it's someone that you had a fight or an argument with, or it doesn't have to be an ex-boyfriend or an ex-husband or anything like that. We're talking about a soul tie that is a connection at a soul level that's bleeding in through from past lives. So you may have not met this person at all. You may meet them during Mercury retrograde. That's very likely. You may have spoken to this person but never actually physically met them. But this person has decided to take a new passionate direction, and you are very, very, very much a part of that. And that's where this reconciliation energy comes from. So if it's someone you have met, have had physical relationship with, they want this. If it's someone that you haven't met this lifetime, they're still feeling the yearning for this, even though they don't know your name yet. And where this is leading to, my last and final question of my higher self and my multidimensional aspects connected through the spiritual guidance system I call my internal compass, is this is leading to the Lover's card. This has come out several times in readings. I don't know if you guys like me doing tarot because no one ever says anything. I don't know if you like the macro versus the micro because no one ever says anything. So I'm using my compass to tell you this missed opportunity, this mercurial energy of wanting to express the depths of soul connection from a past life, whether you've met or not met or will soon meet, is leading to the Lover's card, which means the love of your life is showing up to celebrate all those beautiful gifts and emotions and connections within you, within our soul group, within this decision to make this ascension climb around the mountain, all of it. But most importantly, it's our decision in love to be naked, to be vulnerable, to be open, to be truthful, and to be expressive. I can be in love with someone all day long, but if I'm not going to express how I feel to them, I'm not doing myself any favors. How does someone know how you feel about them if you don't express yourself? Or maybe you've expressed yourself in the past, but you don't know that they know that there's an understanding that that emotion, that feeling, that love, that connection is still there. So there is one person in this dynamic who has been needing to catalyze more course corrections than the other. That person is the one that has made the decision, and the other person knows the knock at the door, the email, the phone call is coming. And that is leading to the most beautiful connection that this planet and this cosmos and this universe has to offer you. And that is to be truly who you are in every speck of your existence, and have someone love you in every speck of your existence, not just looking at you, not loving you for your goals or for your plan or for your bank account, but loving you in every speck of your existence at a soul level. I can't think of a better way to end a video than that. That is amazing, amazing energy. Just don't repress it. Speak your piece to anyone. Just express yourself. Maybe if you don't want to express yourself directly to that person, you can paint or you can sing or you can dance. But this is really strong. I doubt you're going to be able to stop yourself from expressing yourself to that person because this is so strong. So the Libra scales of balance are leading you through the apology, through the missed opportunity, through the hang up, through the new direction, through the new passionate beginning, through the reconciliation, and to the most open, honest, loving, transparent connection you have ever felt. And you'll know it even before you met that person, because it's bleeding through at the end of this 26,000 year cycle from all the love that has ever been given in this cycle from that other person. You feel that love. That's how you recognize that person before they speak and before you ever even meet them. It's all about the recognition of energy, and the inflow of perception through Mercury retrograde is wanting you to express yourself, and the outflow through speech. I love you. Thank you for being here. Bye.